Hello, everyone. This is a recording for Book Group January 8th, 2022, and my name is Elizabeth. This nonfiction book, Just Mercy, is written by humanitarian and lawyer Bryan Stevenson. This book has the publication date of 2014. Bryan tells how he became a lawyer in Alabama fighting for people on death row who were innocent of the crimes they were charged with. I read this book in one day. I think it falls in the category of nonfiction that reads like fiction. It has a compelling plot, and as the reader, I was so eager to find out what was going to happen next. I admire activists who stand up for people who are oppressed. Bryan's grandfather was murdered, and this has informed who he is. He also gives examples of when he was treated unfairly because of the color of his skin. He can relate to other African American people who have been mistreated in this way. I often wonder where people such as Bryan derive their strength from. That is why I appreciated examples in the narrative of where Bryan was exhausted and talked himself into going back and continuing the work. There was one very powerful and tragic scene early in Bryan's career where he could not get a gentleman exonerated, and the man asked that Bryan witness his death in the electric chair. Naturally, witnessing the death shook Bryan to his core. I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I don't think I could get out of bed the next day if something like that happened to me. However, Bryan uses his raw emotions to impel himself forward. He tries even harder with his other cases. Bryan has a strong respect for his elders, and there were numerous examples of this in the book that made me smile. There is a very, very touching story about a change in a person's attitude that Bryan relates. I don't want to be a spoiler, but all I will say is chocolate milkshake, and you can encounter that yourself in the book. There's a museum in honor of To Kill a Mockingbird that is mentioned in the book. Bryan points out how the people who are so proud of this museum do not see the parallels between that novel and the current injustices that are still occurring. What an interesting insight. At the end of the book, Bryan teaches a term called stone catchers. It refers to the Bible story where the woman accused of adultery was brought to Jesus, and Jesus told the accusers who wanted to stone her to death, quote, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." Stone catchers refer to the people who catch the stones that people are throwing. The final paragraph in the book is a great summary statement. Quote, "I continue to meet stone catchers along the way who inspire me and make me believe that we can do better than we've done for the accused, convicted, and condemned among us, as well as those who are victimized by crime and violence, and that all of us can do better for one another. The work continues." End quote. There was a feature film by the same name, Just Mercy, that came out on Christmas Day 2019. Bryan Stevenson worked with director Destin Daniel Cretton and Michael B. Jordan, the actor who played him. Bryan was happy with the results. In an article for the Philadelphia Inquirer, Bryan said, quote, "They have been responsive and thoughtful throughout." End quote. I watched the movie right after reading the book, and it was incredible. So, check out this book at your library, or check out the movie also. Keep reading.